Pathfinders to Adventuring 101. I'm going to take you through the process of creating a character for the Pathfinder RPG that you can either use at Pathfinder Society or in a home game with friends. If you've never played before or have always been too intimidated to start, I'm hoping that I can give you a little guidance so that you can go out and join a game. That being said, this is video 1 in the series. We're going to take a look at races and classes in the core rulebook in broad strokes. Then you'll have a chance to choose which of these options is most interesting to you and create a full-fledged customized character. Think of it as a choose-your-own-adventure. I'm going to give you some options, some guidance, and then you can do with it what you will. Remember, I'm going off rules as written, but your GM might have some slightly different takes if you're playing at home with friends. So keep in mind that the most important rule in Pathfinder is that the GM's verdict is final. It's fine to bring up rules or ask for clarification, but don't be that guy, okay? Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you pick up a core rulebook because it'll serve as your guide throughout your adventures. And the Pocket Edition that just came out is an economical option, and it's easy to carry with you. There are 7 races in the core rulebook. These are the iconic fantasy races you might run into in Lord of the Rings or other fantasy classics. Those races are Dwarves, Elves, Gnomes, Half-Elves, Half-Orcs, Halflings, and Humans. Humanoid playable races generally fall into 2 categories, small or medium-sized. This has to do with the height and weight. So if you choose to play a gnome or a halfling, you're choosing to play a small-sized creature. Think about the difference in height between Bilbo and Gandalf. Gnomes in Golarion, the world of Pathfinder, trace their lineage back to the mysterious realm of the Fae, a place where colors are brighter, the wildlands wilder, and emotions more primal. Because of this, gnomes are often seen as strange but interesting due to their obsessive natures. They can have wild hair and eyes and seek new experiences almost constantly. They have a natural affinity for magic and get bonuses to charisma for their likability and constitution due to their surprising hardiness. However, they are small and do take a penalty to strength. Halflings are most closely related to hobbits. They have a short stature, natural good luck, and an almost undaunting optimism that gives them a bonus against fear. Halflings are curious and skilled like gnomes, but less strange due to their generally even temper. Because they're small and likable, halflings get bonuses to dexterity and charisma, but just as with gnomes, their small size leads them to take a penalty on strength. Let's talk about dwarves. You might be surprised that dwarves are medium-sized in Pathfinder, but this is due to their burly stature. What they lack in vertical height, they make up for in width and musculature. Dwarves are stalwart and practical. They have kingdoms in the mountains and are known for their stern temperaments and interest in precious metals and craftsmanship, though this is of course a generalization. Dwarves move slowly and steadily, they can carry more weight without being encumbered than other races, and can see in the dark without the help of torches. Because they are a race that value common sense, they have a bonus to wisdom, but their gruff demeanor also causes people not to feel as affable toward them. They are hardy and tough, and so are well suited to overcome the odds in the wild or in battle. Almost on the opposite of the scale are elves. These people are tall and lithe, intelligent but delicate. They live for expansive amounts of time, which gives them perspective that shorter-lived races don't have. It can also cause elves to feel forlorn because of the loss of their companions and friends if they live in human or other non-elf cities. They are graceful, which makes them skilled with ranged weapons and acrobatic endeavors, and they have a natural inclination toward the practice of magic and harmony with nature. They are also trained with the traditional weapons of their kind. While they cannot see in the dark, they can see much farther than humans in dim light, which has its benefits. Golarion elves sleep, but are immune to magical sleep effects thanks to their nature. Just like you and I, humans are diverse. They get to choose their own course, meaning that they can be intelligent or wise or strong or dexterous, depending on their background. They start out with additional abilities that you can choose when creating your character. The humans in Golarion range in culture just as we do, and Paizo has actually based many of the locations and cultures in the game on real cultures. For example, the Ulfin are based on Vikings, with people who are tough warriors that raid neighboring lands. Or you have humans that come from the Mwangi Expanse, with tribal peoples that can resemble cultures from the continent of Africa, like the Zulu. Then you have half-elves, who are born of one human and one elven parent, or two half-elf parents. Because of this, they never truly belong in either society. Their elven parent will always outlive their human one, which can cause strife. A half-elf understands loneliness, and knows that character is often less a product of race than of life experience. As such, half-elves are often open to friendships and alliances with other races, and less likely to rely on first impressions when forming opinions of new people. They inherit an adaptable nature from their human blood, which means that they gain a bonus in any one of their abilities due to their flexibility. They have low light vision like their elven parent, and share the immunity to magical sleep effects. Half-Orcs are another half-breed race in Golarion. They come from a mixing of human and orc blood. A half-orc is usually born of violence, and so they are often shunned in human society. They are actually more appreciated by orcs, who like that their intelligence is higher than the average orc. Like half-elves, they can vary in skill ability widely and get a bonus to any one ability. They are also ferocious and hard to take down in a fight. They can see in the darkness and are intimidating presences to many common folk. In order to create a full character in Pathfinder, you need a race and you need a class. There are many classes in Pathfinder, but there are only 11 classes in the core rulebook. This is a good thing, especially when you're starting out. Too much choice can muddy the waters, so we're going to keep it simple in Adventuring 101. Here are your options. If you value strength, you can play a Barbarian. The Barbarian is a powerful warrior who channels her rage to give herself additional powers. If you value words, the arts, and flexibility, you can play a Bard. The Bard uses skill and spell alike to bolster his allies, confound his enemies, and build upon his fame. If you're interested in a religious character, you can play a Cleric. A devout follower of a deity, the Cleric can heal wounds, raise the dead, and call down the wrath of the gods. If you dig nature and the bond between man and beast, you can play a Druid. The Druid is a worshipper of all things natural, a spellcaster, a friend to animals, and a skilled shapeshifter. If you're interested in combat prowess, you can play a Fighter. Brave and stalwart, the Fighter is a master of all manner of arms and armor. If you find the idea of balance and martial arts interesting, play a Monk. A student of martial arts, the monk trains his body to be his greatest weapon and defense. If you want to play a holy warrior, look into the Paladin. The Paladin is the knight in shining armor, a devoted follower of law and good. For an Aragorn-like character who is self-sufficient, check out the Ranger. A tracker and hunter, the Ranger is a creature of the wild and of tracking down his favored foes. If you're interested in stealth and subterfuge, you might play a rogue. The rogue is a thief and a scout, an opportunist capable of delivering brutal strikes against unwary foes. If you want raw magical power, you can play a sorcerer. The spellcasting sorcerer is born with an innate knack for magic and has strange eldritch powers. If you value intellect and studying tomes for greater flexibility in magic, play a wizard. The wizard masters magic through constant study that gives him incredible magical power. Here is where your journey begins, Pathfinders. Choose wisely.